Hello and welcome to today's webinar in partnership with ACTEGA and MCC Label, hosted by Packaging Europe. Today we will find out how companies can set new standards with on-demand metallization for sustainable label embellishment. My name is Elisabeth Skura. I'm the editor here at large here at Packaging Europe. For those of you who aren't familiar with Packaging Europe, we are the leading intelligence resource for packaging professionals around the world via our website, as well as online and in-person events such as the Sustainability Awards and Sustainable Packaging Summit. We deliver daily news content, authoritative comment and analysis, case studies, and high-profile interviews with leading industry players. And we enable communication across the entire packaging value chain. So a bit more about today's webinar. Metallic effects create a visual impact that can help products to stand out on the shelf, particularly in the wine and spirits market. They are eye-catching and can significantly enhance the perceived quality and appeal of a brand, and they help brands to succeed in highly competitive markets. In today's webinar, we explore how to transform label metallization for the better with an innovation that can help the industry become more efficient, more digital, and more sustainable, with a process that's been designed from the ground up. And that process is ACTEGA's on-demand metallization technology. It minimizes the CO2 footprint and raw material consumption for the same output, simplifies print job preparations, and reduces press downtime. And it can be seamlessly added, removed, or replaced in any printer configuration with ease and with speed. So it meets both industry standards and today's consumer demand for more sustainable products, as it places metal flakes only where they're needed, thus reducing the CO2 footprint and waste significantly while creating stunning metallic effects. And this on-demand metallization can be integrated into all narrow web printing technologies and has been adopted as the new standard by leading brands and label printers. The technology, known under ACTEGA's EcoLeaf brand, is already successfully being used in the UK and Europe by MCC Label for various applications under their environmental brand. And in today's webinar, we'll learn to understand how on-demand metallization works, explore sustainability benefits, evaluate real-world applications, and find out how to integrate innovative solutions. With that, I'm very pleased to welcome our speakers today. We have Harold Jasper, who is General Manager at ACTEGA Metal Print, and we also have Roger Bennett, who is Key Account Manager at MCC Label. Before I hand over to our speakers, just a little bit of housekeeping. There are 15 minutes at the end of this webinar reserved for a Q&A. So using the chat facility, please put in your questions in this chat, and I will put them to our speakers at the end of the session. Remember, you can do this throughout the entire webinar, and obviously we'll try to get through as many of your questions as possible. For any technical questions, please select the support button, which you will see on the left-hand side of your screen. So without further ado, I'd now like to hand over to Roger to get us started with the presentation.
So as Liz said, my name is Roger Bennett. I'm a Key Account Manager here at MCC Glasgow on the Wines and Spirits team. You joined us today. Thank you so much for joining us for this live webinar from our site here in MCC Glasgow. We are so pleased to have this new technology available here on our site and in our site in Lucca in Italy. We've worked extensively with ACTEGA to develop this, and it's a pleasure to now introduce this to you. Just to reiterate, as Liz said, any questions that you have regarding the presentation, please drop them in the chat and we'll do our best to get to them at the end of the webinar. So just to introduce MCC to those of you who aren't familiar, MCC is one of the largest packaging printers in the world. We have a turnover of around $32 billion. And we have over 100 plants worldwide, over 25 countries and 6 continents. The products that we supply to various markets are pressure-sensitive labels, cut and stack or wet glue labels, roll-fed labels, decorative shrink sleeves, heat transfer labels, in mold, and also folding cartons. So we try and cover all the requirements of our customer base. So one of the very, very important things to us here at MCC is our sustainability agenda, which is called Labelled with Care. This basically consists of 3 pillars, which includes people, products and operations. And what we say here at MCC is we like to live our values, and we like to deliver tangible solutions which sustain these pillars. And I'm delighted to say that the on-demand metallization, as you'll come to understand through the webinar, delivers on these values.
Thank you, Roger. ACTEGA is a division of Altana, and Altana has 4 divisions, and all of them are very expert in what they do. ACTEGA is a global organization. We are developing different products over the world. We are producing them everywhere, and we are distributing our products. We are mainly delivering to the packaging industry specialty coatings, adhesive, printing inks, and sealings. A big part of ACTEGA research budget is invested to develop sustainable products or sustainable solutions. Today, we are talking about sustainable solution on-demand metallization. We are here together today to transform the label embellishment. We want to deliver a very shiny effect, and to be much more sustainable than what today technologies are. A metallized effect is very important to stand out on the shelf, to make the consumer decide to buy the product from brand A or from brand B. This is even more important than we thought, because today we have data that the difference is 80%. So if you have a label with metal effect, it gives an 80% more attractiveness to the consumer. So this is a very high value and very important for the brand. Unfortunately, today metal effects are often made with foil, and they have a major advantage: waste and the carbon footprint. An average printer is producing 1.5 million square meters of metal foil, and only a little bit of the metallic is used. This means that you have 29,500 kilos of waste, which is an equivalent of 10 elephants. On-demand metallization is born at the right moment, because people involved with packaging are looking more and more to make their packaging, their labels sustainable. And it is more than 80% of those people in the packaging who are looking for a solution. This is giving a dilemma to the designer and to the people, or to the brands, because they want to have aesthetics and sustainability. Ladies and gentlemen, we have good news. On-demand metallization is able to deliver you both shiny effect and sustainability. Today, the technologies most used in the market are foiling and metal solvent-based inks. The new kid on the block is on-demand metallization. How are you able to see the difference in reflection quality between those technologies? As we all learned at school, on a flat surface, when light comes in, or a laser, the light reflects perfectly if the surface is flat. If the surface is rough, then the light is absorbed and there is no reflection. What does it mean for those 3 technologies? On foiling, you have the substrate. On the substrate, the binder is printed, and then the foil is laminated on top. After the curing, the polyester carrier is delaminated, and the metal foil remains on the binder. This metal foil is very flat, and this is the reason why the reflection which is coming in from the light is very good. With solvent-based inks, the binder and the metal flakes are printed in the same time on the substrate. And during the drying, the leafing principle effect is happening. So the metal flakes are coming to the surface, but they are not perfectly oriented to the surface. This is the reason when the light comes in, a big part is absorbed and only a little bit of light is reflected. With the new kit on the block, we are printing the binder on the substrate, we are curing the binder, then the web goes into the on-demand metallization unit, and there it picks up the metal flakes. And those flakes are perfectly oriented on the surface, so this is the reason why we have a very good reflection. We will now show you a video with the process.
The first step is to print a trigger image of the required design using a standard flexoplate, silkscreen, or inkjet print bar. The image gets immediately cured. In the metallization unit, we create a seamless monolayer of mirror-like metal particles. At the end of this process, you can overprint the resulting metallic images to achieve colored metallic effects, including gold. 2D effects carry high resolution and are particularly adapted for very fine details. 3D effects are possible and look great in comparison to embossed effects. Ecoleaf can be overprinted to obtain a myriad of rainbow metallic effects, including gold.
Hello. So to summarize what we saw in the video, so the binder, the trigger image, is printed first on the web. Can be printed in flexo, can be printed in rotary screen, or can be printed in inkjet, depending on the substrate you want to use and depending on the effect you want to achieve, which Roger afterwards is explaining which effects we can achieve. Then the binder is cured, go into the Ecoleaf unit, and this is the picture what you see now. This is a very important part because here is the magic happening. The metal flakes go only on the binder and don't go on other parts. And this is the reason why we call it on-demand metallization, and the metal flakes which are not taking off the drum are reused. So we are not creating any waste. Afterwards, the web continue in the printing press and can be overprinted. The metal flakes from on-demand metallization have a very good acceptance of the ink. And now I want to give back to you, Roger.
Thank you very much, Harold. So just to reiterate what we saw on the video there are quite a few benefits, but three really important ones of the on-demand metallization. The first is the fine detail that can be achieved. This is very important in replicating full designs. Second one is overprinting. So the effect can be matched to any shade of current hot or cold foil. So there's no limits to what shade or what appearance, what color that you can have this technology in. And then thirdly, as mentioned in the video, is the relief. We're all probably familiar with high build tactile screen printing, but with this technology, you actually get a nice raised effect from the actual process itself. So again, three real big benefits to the technology. Okay, so bringing it closer to home, MCC have worked with ACTEGA, as we mentioned, and we have branded this technology Environmetal. That is an MCC brand. And this allows us to deliver sustainable metallizations, to deliver the shelf appeal that is essential for brand owners who demand premium aesthetics. So we really feel that this is a real game changer in the market. So again, we've already worked with some of our customers and brand owners, and this is just an example of some of the benefits that we've already found. So with this particular brand owner, we looked at three of their products, and we looked at the 12-month usage of hot foil. And you can see in case number one, or brand number one, there was over 67,000 square meters of foil used on that particular brand over 12 months. and that equated to 1,147 kilograms of foil into the system. Now, just to put that into perspective, that's the equivalent of 9.5 football pitches, and the image on the right really puts that into context for you. So what this is really delivering for the brand owner is, as well as meeting and helping us achieve our Labelled with Care, our sustainability agenda, it also fits in with our partners, our brand owners, our customers' sustainability agendas as well. So let's work together and help your brand shine. Back to you, Liz.
Yes, thank you very much for presentation. I'm not sure you have quite a lot of nice products standing next to you. Before we head into the Q&A, would you like to sort of show us any of these or talk about any of these?
Yeah, sure. So this is some trial work we've done with the metallization effect, and just to, hopefully you can see that okay. You can see a quite intricate design there, which at the top is printed in a gold effect and at the bottom printed in a silver effect. And what we can do with brands is basically dress a bottle in this case, or whatever the product may be, and show the difference between the foil product and the environmental product. And that really is a real good way of demonstrating and allowing the brand owner to demonstrate to their shareholders what the actual benefits of this technology are. Okay, back to you, Liz.
Great, thank you. So yes, now it's time to head into the Q&A section of this session. We've already had quite a few questions come through, but obviously keep them coming. And if we don't get to your question, or if you're watching this on demand, yeah, just reach out. I'm sure the speakers will be happy to answer your questions later on as well. So the first question we had in was, could you please explain Ecoleaf more? Are the metallic particles on a roll, in brackets solids, or in a liquid phase? Do they stick only where the cured binder sits?
Okay, so the metal flakes are delivered in a paste, and then we are diluting them into water. We are using water to transport the flakes. We are not using polyester to transport the flakes into the machine. And then on the drum, you have seen we are separating the metal flakes from the water, and the metal flakes only stick there on the trigger image, on the binder. I hope this is answering the question.
I'm sure. That sounded good to me. I'm sure Angela Smith asked this question. I'm sure if anything was unclear, she can maybe message us again and
sure.
ask for more clarification. Yes, another question we had in, does this metallic effect work on both paper and PP label material? And
so yeah,
two questions, so I'll
so I'll just take that first bit, Liz, if that's okay. So yes, the technology is suitable for both PP and paper materials, and as you can see on the different bottles here. So yes, the technology can be fully utilized both on paper and plastic materials.
Great, thank you. And yes, the second part of that question. Is the print able to be used on food packaging as well, for example, on PP thin ball components?
We are concentrating today not on food packaging. The technology can be indirect food contact, but not food contact.
Okay, great, thank you. Another question we had in was, what speeds can be achieved?
Well, the on-demand metallization, when we developed the technology, the idea is that on-demand metallization is not the slow stopper for any production line. So we are able to print in production 80, 100 meters per minute, depending on the line. In our labs, we can run faster than 100 meters per minute, so speed is not an issue.
From our point of view as a printer, as Harold said, the technology isn't the limitation. Bear in mind, this is part of, this is an embellishment which is part of a regular flexo printing setup. So it all depends on what different kinds of embellishments are there. So you could have the environmental, you could have emboss, you could have silk screen on there as well. So yeah, the speeds will vary depending on the makeup of the label, but not limited by the technology.
I think another important part of if you talk about speed, you talk about production. So on-demand metallization is a continuous process. You don't stop to change. So you can start the job and continue until the end of the order. You don't need to change, so stop the pigments or whatever. It's a full continuous process, and that's why on-demand metallization is also more productive.
Yeah, which is obviously a benefit from us, from our point of view as a printer, so it eliminates downtime as well.
Makes sense, thank you. Another question was, can I use your footprint data to calculate the footprint of my labels if I would switch to EcoLeaf?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's, I would say that is pretty much stage one of the transition. So yes, we're happy to work with yourselves or any brand to look at your current consumption of foil, how much of the label is currently foil, and then make the comparison if you were to switch to EcoLeaf stroke environmental. Yeah, that's not a problem at all. And as I say, that activity or that practice gives you the data to help process the change within your organization, because very much, brands don't want to change the look of the design, and this adds value to the reason for change.
And the data which is used in this calculation is LCA data. We made already 2 of them, and it's ISO certified data, so it's perfectly correct. There's no greenwashing at all.
Great, thank you. Somebody else asked, does adding the EcoLeaf technology impact the recycling process?
That's a good question. We have, as you probably all know, the Recyclas organization, which are checking all these recycling topics, and on-demand metallization is Recyclas certified.
Great, thank you. Another question we had was, can we take trials on our specific jobs?
Yeah, absolutely. So any inquiries that brands would like to explore the technology with, please feel free to reach out. The contact details will be at the end of the webinar. But yeah, please reach out, and we'd be more than happy to engage on the product development side, which will include trials, so you can see the comparison between the 2 effects.
Great. We had another question. Is the process scalable to full surface printing apart from label production, i.e. for flexible packaging?
That's a good question. So in theory, some of our customers are doing full surface printing, but just for small jobs, for small running meters, because we are born to have, let's say, 20-25% of coverage, but the technology can do it. If it's economically viable, that's another story.
Great. Yes, somebody else is asking, is it possible to use this technology on tobacco packaging? In brackets, because we do apply hot cold foil on the outer packaging, not inside the pack where we have the cigarette sticks.
Yes, it's usable, and one of the important points in the tobacco industry is the folding. So when you the EcoLeaf on demand metallization is not cracking, so it's really good foldable. Yes, it's possible.
Great, thank you. Let's just check for some more questions. Yes, somebody is asking, are there any restrictions on the base material selections, such as minimum paper or board grammage? Do minimum board and paper grammage apply?
No. So long as it's printable through our presses, then we can apply the effect to the relevant substrate.
Perfect. Yes, another question we had. Do you have a range of metal colors or just silver and gold?
Okay, so at the minute, as you probably saw from the video, the actual effect is naturally silver, the pigment of the foil, and then as I mentioned, the color can be applied as a secondary wash, and that can recreate any like for like, foil shade that you require.
Great, thank you. Let me just check that I haven't overlooked, because obviously, as you've noticed, we've had quite a few questions in, so I'll just make sure that I haven't overlooked anything.
It's great to hear that people are finding it of such interest.
Yes, we've had great engagement, so that's always good to lead to.
That's nice.
Good to see. Oh yes, somebody's asking, what about rough papers? I guess, yeah, does the process work for?
Okay, so rough papers, that is something that's prevalent in the wines and spirits industry, and yeah, it can be utilized on various substrates.
Great. I can see another question here. Does Ecoleaf remove the SVHC compared to printing a leafing silver from ACTEGA that contains residual TMPTA?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yes, I'm not actually quite sure, because I have to admit this is a bit above my speciality, but does Ecoleaf remove the SVH''C compared to printing a leafing silver that contains residual TMPTA?
I think this is a very specific question.
Yes,
I will need to come back on that one.
No problem at all. It definitely, I have to admit, it was way beyond me, but obviously that's not saying very much. Okay, let me double check. We still have questions coming in, so let's quickly check that. Oh yes, somebody's asking, could you metallize the whole surface of a plastic film with the Ecoleaf technology? Which would be the sustainability advantages of metallizing by Ecoleaf rather than by traditional methods?
Yes, so it is possible to cover the whole surface area of the substrate. The main sustainability benefit of that would be there is no waste liner. So a foil has a carrier liner when it's transferred onto the substrate, whereas on-demand metallization doesn't have any carrier. So that is a significant sustainability benefit.
Fantastic. Okay, I'm just having a quick look through here, but I think we have answered all the questions that have come in. I'll give everybody the chance to sort of give that people sort of another minute, since there's still a bit of time to see if there's anything else coming in. I think that is probably it from what I can see, but obviously, yes, like I said before, if you have any more if you have any more questions, yeah, then
Okay.
oh, actually, something else has just popped in. Somebody asked, working from solvent-free system does equally reduce or prevent substances of concern, such as solvents, TM, PTA, monomer, etc.
Yeah, of course, we are today, TM, PTA is something which is not requested into the market, so that it's obvious that when we are developing something new, that we want to comply with the new regulations. Okay, so Liz, thank you very much.
I think that is probably it for now. But yeah, like I say, obviously feel free to get in touch and ask any more questions that you might have, anything else that might pop up.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you everybody for joining us today, and thank you Harold and Jasper for joining us live from Glasgow. It's been a really interesting conversation and really interesting insights about transforming label embellishment. And yeah, if we didn't get the chance to answer your question today, or if you're watching this on demand and you have a question, feel free to reach out. I'm sure our speakers will be happy to follow up with you afterwards. The webinar will be available on demand within the next couple of days. And yeah, you'll be sent a link to access it in case you want to recap on anything you've seen in today's session. So yeah, once again, I'd like to thank our speakers, Harold, Jasper and Roger Bennett. And yes, thank you very much everybody for joining.
Thank you everybody.
Thank you.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks very much. Goodbye.